Every Who down in Whoville liked Christmas a lot.
Wrong-o.
You're
The Grinch! I must stop this Christmas from coming!
Director Ron Howard and producer Brian Grazer invite you
Forgot about the reindeer. Action! Brilliant!
to celebrate the holiday classic
Holiday Hoobie Whatty?
Doesn't this seem like a bit much?
in theaters.
This could change my entire outlook on life!
Really?
No.
Jim Carrey,
Even if we're horribly mangled, there'll be no sad faces on Christmas.
Dr. Seuss's How the Grinch Stole Christmas,
Even if I wanted to go, my schedule wouldn't allow it. 4 o'clock, wallow in self-pity. 6:30, dinner with me. I can't cancel that again.
back in theaters this holiday season.
Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. My name is Noah. If you're new here, welcome. I am super excited tonight. I am hyped because tonight we're going to be celebrating 25 years of Dr. Seuss's How the Grinch Stole Christmas starring Jim Carrey. I have my little Grinch guy right here beside me because I feel like to celebrate this I have to have the Grinch with me. And yeah, I'm I'm excited. I'm hyped. This is one of my favorite holiday films. I literally watch it every year. And I'm guessing it's one of your favorite holiday films too. If you're watching this, let me know in the comments below. But yeah, I'm excited, and I hope you're excited too. Now, to celebrate 25 years of How the Grinch Stole Christmas, I got tons of videos and tons of stuff planned for tonight. So I hope you're ready. So if I was you, I would grab some popcorn. I would grab a drink. Now get ready, because this is going to be a super long stream. When I say that, I mean 2 to 3 hours, guys. So yeah, I'm excited. This is going to be a heck of a night. And yeah, I'm ready to get this party started. So yeah, if you're ready, I'm ready. Let's kick it off with me and Wanda watching an exclusive documentary on the making of How the Grinch Stole Christmas. Enjoy!
Hello, little girl. Are you here to read to us? No. I hear you know some things about the Grinch.
Cindy Lou had some questions in her curious heart. Why did the Grinch hate Christmas? Where did it all start?
The Grinch story of how we got it made is a very interesting kind of adventure itself. Audrey Geisel, who was the widower of Theodore Geisel,
One house on the other side.
let each studio bid on it. So I just became one.
I remember when Juan Howard was
to go after.
It used to be called Juan Howard, I think. And he was a kid in the Music Man.
La Jolla, California,
With Walter
for
Preston.
Audrey Geisel and a flank of others.
But you know, he used to be younger and all this stuff. Now he's a,
In the
you know,
end
he's
of
older
this
and I think he's a director.
audition process against others, I lost the bid, and so
Time
I
flies.
begged Ron, who didn't want to direct it, and I thought, well, if I can just get him to go to La Jolla, California, and get him involved in it, he might just change his mind. So I sent a message to Audrey Geisel that I can get the great Ron Howard. You know, he was already an esteemed director, really in high demand. So if I could bring the additive value of Ron Howard, she'll have another meeting, which she wasn't going to do. But because it was Ron Howard, she was willing to have this one more meeting. So when Ron Howard and I went down, that of course cinched the deal, and she said, okay, I'll do it with you guys. And from my side, I thought, for Imagine,
Must be his style, I don't know.
A movie about the Grinch.
It's just way he stands out on camera. I don't know about, if I had that, I wouldn't like it.
It's a great book.
Well, the other part was all laid down in one person. That's such a genius.
That's a classic book. It's so good.
Kind of making something
You wanna see-
fresh,
you
exciting,
wanna see books
and
like that.
cinematic was pretty extreme. In doing so, I also began to think, well, what else would the movie really be? What would my take on the movie be? And I began to think about values of Theodore Geisel, Dr. Seuss, that existed already in the book, but what do we do to expand it? And I thought about a couple of themes that he always works with: commercialism and sort of hyper-commercialism. That led me to think, well, we could have a first act where you actually see that the Who's have really gone too far. They have lost their way. They actually need an adjustment. The other thing was otherness, cloaked in fable, bigotry, and began to think, well, let's have a backstory for the Grinch. Let's understand the source of his resentment of the Who's. Let's get a little heartbreak in there and understand both sides of this cultural division that
Oh,
was
such a
creating so
sad
much
scene.
acrimony, comic pain, and frustration.
Because you bullies.
The fury.
The muscles. I remember that. Such a good line. So funny.
Brian,
She was
very
so in
hated
love.
Jim
Yeah.
Carrey, like a liar.
And she liked the
Still
muscles, I
Jim
guess.
Was and is.
Muscles he didn't have.
Yeah, I just
And
like
Brian was
You're a little
obsessed with the
kid.
idea of Jim
do.
playing the Grinch. And
That was the only way I would do it. I mean, I had very few contingencies, but I said to Audrey Geisel, who wanted Jack Nicholson, I said, Jack Nicholson is a great actor, but he doesn't have enough innocence in him to forgive
But
him
now that I
for
watched
doing
it, it wouldn't be the
these
same without Jim
things.
Carrey.
But this
Yeah.
guy,
I'm
Jim
just saying,
Carrey has it all.
he made the movie what it
Innocence
was.
that
Right.
Jerry Lewis had in his day. Ron was, I guess, aligned with that idea.
well, I loved the idea.
Yeah.
And by the time I went and helped pitch to Audrey Geisel, kind of my take on it thematically, and I kept imagining Jim Carrey. Well, Brian was right. On the drive home, I don't want somebody else directing this.
I didn't know that.
I think this is gonna be great.
The sun is bright and the power is better. Let's go now.
That's slow. He looks faster in the film.
Rick Baker was this Oscar-winning makeup artist that was beyond belief. So he loved the idea of doing the Grinch, another big, gigantic challenge, and it really was a big challenge.
He did a good job with the makeup,
As I
though.
worked with
Yeah.
Brian on
Like the makeup in that film
he
is
said, our
so
next movie we're
cool.
going to do How the Grinch Stole Christmas. And frankly, when they told me it was Jim Carrey, I was very
Just
excited.
makeup
This is
effects.
great because Jim knows how to make faces, you know, and when you're wearing an appliance
Big
makeup, you
talent.
have to exaggerate the expressions. Because I
Well,
can
for
make a
me-
face like a Grinch.
For the makeup,
Mm-hmm.
These
You have to be
who's
like an
are
artist to do
driving me
makeup like that.
I must find a way to
His
stop
face is
Christmas.
like
I was gonna say, you ever think about it, they did say, like, I hear people always say that Jim Carrey, like, they remind me that he has a wobbly face.
Yeah.
I don't know about that, but he has like a wobbly face.
Universal was
It was like-
paying a lot of money
I can
to
see
Jim
it because he
to
can do
play
good
the
facial
part, and I was
expressions
just saying pain and
that most people couldn't do. Really. Unless you have like,
Yeah.
And I fought. I just knew that
unless you have
this was-
talent like him.
I did numerous designs. I had green Jim Carrey, what I wanted him to be, and like 10 versions in between. And we set up to do tests on all of them. We finally had Jim come out, and I had an illustration
That's
in my
weird.
office there where we were doing the makeup that I did of what I thought the Grinch should be.
You guys' face doesn't
Jim was
look like
walking
that.
around and he said,
That's
"Well,
weird.
that's what the Grinch should look like." And I go, "Thank you." You know, that's what I've been saying. He goes, "But that, yeah, I agree." So after a lot of finagling, everybody eventually agreed at the very last minute. That's what it should be. So I ended up doing a makeup test on myself, which I do
Once again,
frequently when I have an assignment, because I want to know what it's like on the other side. So if the actor complains about something, I know if it's valid or not. Jim was made up 92 days. I think that's a record. It's one thing to go through the makeup a couple times. It does.
You see, for me, if I was getting all the makeup done, I couldn't do it.
He was really having to do
Could
about
you?
6 hours.
I couldn't do that. You had to
where
sit
they
still for
sealed his
hours.
body, and it was just
I would be
like
tapping my foot or something. I would be like,
I think
get me
the
out of
most
here.
painful was, he said, I
My
don't want to use
patience would be at its
any
end.
visual effects or digital effects for my eyeballs. I'm going to have to wear contact lenses that enable my eyes to be photographed as very vivid green eyes. And I thought to myself, wow, those are like frisbees in his eyeballs. Just to sit there and do the makeup, I mean, every aspect of it was really tedious and painful, and to do it every day, then he has to insert these contacts that were really, really disturbing him.
It was almost like sometimes people take all the scuba diving lessons and then they put on the mask and they dive and they realize they're claustrophobic and there's kind of not much you can do about it. You can have all the skill and the will and all of it, but you just kind of can't do it. He discovered that about the suit. But we'd been shooting for a while and we said, well, do we need to regroup and rethink this? And he said, no, because we worked real hard on this look. This is right, and I'm going to do it. He did at a certain point felt like he just couldn't carry on. Brian intervened in one of the great producerial moves ever and found a therapist, and you can describe it.
Well, he worked for the State Department. He was the leading expert in teaching FBI and the military how to survive torture. And I said to Jim Carrey,
Just
you
kinda
can't
interesting.
quit, you can't give all the money back with interest at which he was willing to do. You have to meet this guy. So I paid to have this guy
Why
fly
did you
out
meet that guy again?
and spent the weekend with Jim, and on Monday he
Because
said
it's
I could
the thing he was in?
enable him to
Because he was in it for
dislodge
so hard.
the constant
So that's why I had to bring something in here good.
feeling
Teach
and
him how to
sense of
cope with it.
containment
I
and
see.
claustrophobia that he
It
was.
would be a lot though.
My
You know what I mean?
most vivid
It would
memory
definitely be a lot.
was one day.
You get
we
all
were
the
just
makeup
in
for
early
hours, and you
stages of kind
shoot
of
him for a long time.
understanding how much
You know what I
of
mean?
this
Until you're
was
done. This would be a lot.
burden to him, you know. We had a big physical scene, a thing where he jumps down and scares Cindy Lou Who, and he's hanging up on
remember
the
that.
ceiling, and it's very physical with wires and all kinds of stuff. But that day, I looked around for Jim. We were getting ready to shoot, and he was literally over in the corner of the set on his back with a brown paper bag. Oh my God! Because he was having a panic attack, and he relaxed and gave him some time. And I said, "Are you okay, man? I'm so sorry." He said, "Nope, let's shoot it." And he did it, and he was hilarious. So the fact that he could be in that mindset and struggling in that way.
It's funny they
and then
mention
turn around
that,
and
but I hope
create
that Jim
this
Carrey
physical
went
comedy
through some stuff
that
in his
blew my
life. I don't, what's that word they use? Not stress, but
Depression.
yeah, depression. You probably heard about that. He went through depression.
After I won the Oscar at an Oscar party,
I didn't help with
one
any
of
of
the
that.
people that was saying paint Jim Carrey green came up to me and said, "You were right, and thank you." But I thought that was really cool that they would admit it. You know, but I do think that was right. You know, I think if it was Jim Carrey painted green, the movie wouldn't be what it is.
The Grinch got a wonderful, awful idea.
I
Smile.
just what to do.
Yeah,
It
you're
was,
like,
it was during rehearsals or early script meetings or on into shooting. Everyone was always kind of opening the
It's a good
door
photo.
for Jim's imagination and creativity, and it was always worth it. Not every joke was the right joke. Not every idea was right. He understands that. He was great to work with in that way, but he was also his own most intense taskmaster.
He would continue to work until he thought he did it right. You know, Ron would go, "Okay, we got it," and Jim was, "No, I can do it better." And he would do another take and another take.
Honestly, working with Jim, it was my first experience
oh, she is. To the mom said.
in watching an
It's
artist at
different
work,
now, it is.
and it was.
I don't know if face
fascinating
looks
to me.
like,
And
like
he
got skinnier or
proved
shrunk
himself
in.
as a
I don't know.
character,
Something
unlike
looks different.
anything I had certainly ever
I'm looking
seen.
at, like, how
Unlike
she looked in the
a lot
movie
of
as a young
actors.
Yeah.
So to watch someone that serious with their craft,
We
with
love
such
those
a
young actors,
vision
they go
and
through a lot.
so much intent,
I mean,
was very inspiring
even after
to
filming.
watch at such a young age, and I think it left a
I hold
lasting
that.
impact on me as an artist, and
Great things.
realizing
Yeah.
how much commitment
So that probably didn't help with
takes
anything.
and how much of yourself you have to put into it in order to be great and authentic.
What was great is that in rehearsals, when Jim didn't have the outfit, the costume at all, he was creating all these great moves, and he had total latitude because he could embody all that. He's very physical, so he had kind of imprinted the movement of the Grinch in rehearsals without a costume. So then, what he had to do is kind of like rediscover that through all of the foam and all the makeup and all of it. And he'd have to work on it a little bit, but he'd always try to get it back to that place where he had felt it and it had been so organic and made us all laugh so hard.
Come on, Max. It's our first stop.
One day we were doing one of the montages of him just stealing Christmas. It was a day where he was doing like 3 or 4 physical bits. Every time this was happening, it wasn't verbal at all. It was all physical. I thought, oh my God, I'm watching kind of Baryshnikov, but it's also Michael Jordan, and yet it's all the Marx Brothers combined into one brain. I was just witnessing genius.
The Marx
And, you know,
Brothers
again,
and-
day after day, it just kept going.
Heaven's sakes.
He's double twisting interrupted.
I love that scene.
2.5 of the combo coming.
He has like a dive into the chimney. Who does that? He doesn't just go into the chimney. He has to dive up in the air and dive in.
Physical comedy and verbal really is a great fit with Dr. Seuss because Jim is funny, he's silly, there's always an idea there. He's always commenting on the irony of life and societal hypocrisy.
That's it, I'm not going.
He's always finding that way, whether he's the butt of the joke or he's exposing it. And of course, that's perfect because that's what Dr. Seuss is all about. And that was what made the Grinch hilarious. You know, his absolute certainty and outrage, and then the turnaround where he recognizes that he's been wrong about Christmas and others.
Mr. Grinch, my name is Cindy
I
Lou.
think that's what it is. A
In
face show.
auditioning kids for movies
she's
and
doing
TV
what,
shows
out?
and things like
Well,
that.
she was a
I've
little
been a
kid
child
there,
actor
so she
myself.
grew
There's a
up,
point
so her face
where
changed.
kids can actually
I think she changed her hair
understand
color too, unless they dyed it
using
for
their
this.
playtime
Probably,
skills
yeah, well,
toward
in
this.
her-
You know what I'm saying? Those,
Yeah.
I don't know. She looks different
Where they
now.
Well,
really
she's really young
can
there, and now
understand
she's
the game,
older.
which is
Yeah.
telling the
Well,
story. Now Taylor's 6,
She doesn't look
And on
extremely
her
old, but
audition,
she's not young either. I mean, she's in the middle of 40 something.
Got it.
So
And
six.
she could really
They
listen.
say she's six
Very
in
direct.
here.
I
The
don't
thing I
know.
probably remember the
30
most
in her
of the
30s.
audition process
That's not too
was
bad.
the end, the screen
Not too
testing,
old.
where we started to play with looks when it was down to the very, very final girls. We did wig testing and costume testing, and we must have gone through 20 different wigs, from pink to green to yellow to orange, and then obviously Ron and everyone ended up settling with a natural blonde color with a whimsical braid and a spout. But that was really fun to immediately kind of dive into the character and start playing dress up before the role was even officially
I
mine.
know, that's her fake, it's bleach, so it's her fake hair.
Jim fell in love with her, adored her, has a daughter himself, made a connection in that way, and was really great with her. Even though Jim was constantly having to like act like he was scaring her and things like that. Hello.
There we go.
He was so warm
mysterious.
and fuzzy with her that she wasn't remotely afraid. It was all fun to her. It was all fun.
That's good.
I get asked a lot if it was scary to me, if his Grinch outfit was intimidating, and it was not. And the funny thing about that is that I met Jim in costume.
That's
So I
good.
never actually
You
knew
got
what
used to
Jim
it then,
Carrey
you
looked
met him in
like
costume.
until the premiere of the film, and someone had to point him out and tell me that that was Jim Carrey. Because to me, Jim was just the Grinch. I mean, I called him Jim, I knew his name was Jim, but he was the Grinch, and he was awesome.
I'm not scared.
He was awesome. That's the nice thing to say right there.
You're evil.
Maybe you need a timeout.
I remember that.
Getting
Kids today, he
transformed into
says.
such an elaborate character every day really put me in the mindset of Whoville and the Grinch. It never felt like going to work. It felt like this elaborate, whimsical, Halloween, creative, childlike dream that I have to live in every day. That was so cool as a kid.
Kelly, the dog who plays Max, had been found in a pound somewhere before and was just super smart. The problem was Kelly's a mutt, and we couldn't find doubles. So we had to be almost as cautious about Kelly's schedule as we were about Jim's. We couldn't overwork Kelly. We had to just respect the fact that we really only had one creature who could really play Max. It was Kelly all the time. And to look after performing animals, they don't have a personal will to please. You're asking something of them that's not natural. Those trainers were incredibly production friendly, but also very honest and protective of Kelly.
I was never allowed to have pets growing up because we traveled a lot, and so Kelly, the dog, was kind of like my first pet. I loved Kelly. I wanted to take Kelly home with me at the end of production. I was convinced that was my.
She's gonna have a dog. She's gonna have a pet in general, I guess.
It was so fun to have.
But
him
at least
on
she
set
kind of
to get to be around him all the time.
like that.
I think both Cindy Lou Who and Max are like the unsung heroes of that entire production, both in their ability as professionals to do the work, but also just how effective they were on camera.
Every Who down in Whoville, the tall and the small, was singing without any presents at all.
Dr. Seuss, Theodore Geisel did a lot of the heavy lifting for us. So did the Chuck Jones animated film. Those were bona fide references that we were all sort of trying to aspire to somehow achieve, given the limitations of what an actual human being can do. But there was a lot of conversation about what are these Who's going to be like? And Rick Baker worked every bit as hard on trying to come up with Who characters as he did.
It would be hard. You can make them short, but of course, in the short.
Yeah.
So you gotta pick a way they're still gonna look like Who's, but not be short.
They just kind of look
You
like
use your imagination a little bit there.
It's weird. And what about Cindy Lou? I'm assuming you're going to use a little girl from Cindy Lou. I said, I can't put a little girl in a 3-hour makeup. I said, that's the bigger problem. I said, well,
That'd be a lot for that
maybe
little girl.
when Who's are young, that nose doesn't quite develop yet. That way we can just maybe use, whoever is going to play the part's nose.
The reason I don't have prosthetics is at the end of the day, I think everyone just decided I was too young to put me through that process. So they
Probably a
ended
good
up
option.
writing it into the script. With
You imagine if they put her through all that? That'd be
grown into her nose yet to
crazy.
kind of compensate for that.
You choose to listen.
that's probably a good thing they didn't make her go through all
Be
that.
taken seriously, girl, who hasn't even grown into her nose yet.
Part of it, I wanted to make big teeth for everybody. and ears. And also, the Seuss illustrations had these long lashes, so we actually had lashes made. So I did tests on my daughters. We did an appliance makeup. It was a wig. And
I was gonna say, I don't remember those.
I filmed a bunch of stuff with them.
That makes sense if it's his daughters.
Yeah.
It was really fun for me to be making up my daughters. I made them up since they were born anyway. We eventually decided that younger Who's are like that.
We're not all done?
Oh, it's beginning. Do you think we should be done?
Yeah.
It was my first experience with false lashes, which stuck throughout the years, and I did get to have the teeth, which was very fun. And as soon as I put those in, I was Cindy, and I really hated the taste of the glue of the teeth when you put them in and out. And so once I put those in for the day, they became my teeth. I ate with them. I stayed in them all day long and would only take it was the last thing to come off at the end of the night because I hated the taste.
Hated that taste. Probably does taste bad though.
Yeah.
The glue they would use. I taste nasty.
What scared me the most about this show was the size. I said, give us a stage at Universal as our makeup department, and we built makeup tables on two-sided, and we had rows and rows of
That's a lot of stuff going on.
stations where I could just walk up and down the rows. And
Big makeup area.
A
lot of people they had to put makeup on. Probably why.
And it was
The whole
fun to
cast
just see,
needs makeup,
60
right?
makeup
For this kind of a
working
movie,
on
at least.
stuff that we created in my shop and having it all come together.
The techniques of the time created some limitations. The mobility of the faces was not there in a way that they would be today. And so the Who's were a little more mask-like than any of us really wanted them to be. The actors worked with them. You know, they would put the makeups on, and they wouldn't necessarily be finished, but they'd have the prosthetic, and they'd spend a lot of time rehearsing in the mirror, working it, because it's a brand of acting that is a little bit like mask performance.
We had 3 tiers. The number 1s are close to camera, the number 2 is back here, the number 3 is
Everything's on like a
everything
precise,
perfect.
Everything's planned out.
The way they were done. The 3s
And piped back down too.
masks for them to wear. And they were horrifying because they had the kind of a fixed expression, you know, and you just see these weird looking people walking around, you know. The expression never changed. I've had this experience before when you have people that are supposed to be background, they want to get the camera. Sure enough, they would like run up and get close to the camera. It was challenging to have that many makeup artists and that many makeup daily. It was
That was
part
his
of our
voice. I think
challenge
his
for
mom's out there
the whole
too.
time we were working on it. Our big scene, my big family scene, is when the Grinch is up on Mount Crumpet and he's going, they're going to be opening their presents, and they show a family opening the presents. It's my family. They said it's got Sean Furlow. The stunt coordinator's son was in the shop too with us. It's a very special movie.
What happened? It should be almost
The term Grinchy shall
Yeah,
apply when
I don't know.
Christmas
It's like
spirit
39
is
minutes.
in short supply. Now I ask you, does that sound like our holiday cheermeister?
Who's the May Who? But the Book of Who says
Well, I'm
this
talking about-
too. No matter how different a who may appear, he will always be welcome with holiday cheer.
The language.
Remember that scene too. That was a good scene. Stood up for the Grinch,
yeah.
We had read-throughs. We had
She
chances
stood
to
right
hear
up for him.
more rhymes,
She
less
loved him.
rhymes. And that was
Well,
something that
yeah,
we-
she did
we sort of
because
held
not anyone,
very
none of
carefully.
all the
The
ones would
first
stand
draft
up for the
through
Grinch,
rewrites
except
being
for Cindy.
generated literally during
Sorry.
rehearsal or even on
Well,
the
he
stage.
was kind
It
of.
was less
Yeah.
about the
No, it wasn't his
words
fault, he was
and
pushed
style
away.
and
Pushed away.
doing
But not his
basic
fault though. That was because of the
language. A lot
stinking
it
male,
is
the
just
mean
so
guy.
Physical, the film
Bully.
itself.
Yeah,
So
the bully.
comedy, the action, all of that
Well,
was
for him, he was still being
original and
Hugo.
physical. That was the thing that I thought was the enchantment of it. We had not only writers with us throughout the whole shoot, but I also got some animators
That's
and
interesting.
storyboard artists from
Yeah.
like
Show me
Ren
some
and
of the, like,
Stimpy.
behind the scenes
cool,
stuff.
edgy, contemporary
That's
at
really
that
cool.
time, physical comedians.
You
that's
don't
what
even see that
animators
every day.
are as well. To come do the storyboards, work with Jim, work with me. Even on the Who side, I realized how much Jim was bringing. But I also wanted the Who's to be as interesting and offbeat, physically entertaining as they could be. So that's one of the reasons I cast Bill Irwin to be the father, because he was not only there to play an important supporting role, he was also there to be a kind of mentor. And he was there when we were doing our Who school,
He must be the
along with our
dad.
stunt coordinator, Charlie Crowell. We had a lot of Cirque du Soleil artists who
I remember that from the beginning of the
adapting their
movie when they were
act and
jumping.
routine to certain
I
behaviors
do remember that.
to try to make Whoville atmospherically unique. And so we were developing ways for the Who's to move and comedy bits between the animated storyboard artists, our writers, our performers.
Ooh.
You know, it's just this ongoing process of what
That takes
is
a lot of
Susie
work
and what
to do-
can we
to get it all
physically
right.
as human beings
By a lot of
do
factors,
to
too.
help transport people into that world in
doing
a
this movie?
dimensionalized way that was still relatable. And it was a huge challenge because it was pre-digital. You know, you couldn't just digitally stretch people's necks or
Oh my God, I
limbs
can't
or
imagine.
do things
I
to
can
make
imagine.
movements
Can you imagine
more
going on that
fluid
ball
and
like that?
Susan,
I
we
could
had
not-
to
I could imagine
achieve
that.
these things. And of course, there
That would be like- I don't know if I would even do it.
Always frustrating for all of us, but people tried to work
I don't
through
know.
those.
I probably couldn't do it
The
anyways.
physical laws of Whoville needed
I know
to
what
just be a
Spike
little bit different.
It takes
Way up in
practice.
the mountains,
Oh, yeah.
in the high range of pontoons, lay the
Lot of
small
practice.
town of Whoville, the home of the Who's.
For me, having been an actor, it's really all about the performance opportunities, even in fantasy. It's what does it mean to those characters? And then it's about trying to create enough credibility around the sort of the environment of the fantastical. For me,
Heck,
it
it
all
was.
begins in
That
the
was,
characters. And then the world that we
That's
create,
crazy.
I have a
Much.
lot
Oh,
of
yeah.
designers. I have a sense of, you know, what I'd like to see, sure. But it
Focus
to
on
me,
the
it's
bits.
about creating an environment that's going to be interesting to see these characters navigate.
I guess I could use a little social interaction.
Michael Kornblith was
Then you go
the
down to
production
Hoover and
designer.
stuff.
I love that right there.
Oh, yeah.
That grin.
Oh, yeah.
Focused
When he knows
project.
he's up to
He's great,
Good.
massive intellect. But we started talking
Mischief.
about this project, and he kind of blew our minds in our first conversation because he pulled out a book, and it was all about the architect Gaudi. And he said,
wow.
we don't know if there's any real connection between Theodore Geisel and Gaudi, but look at this architecture and look at these shapes, and you can draw your own conclusion. One way or another, I can certainly use Gaudi to help me understand how we can build this in the material world. And it was brilliant. There was always this sort of meeting between the practicality of Gaudi, yet the imagination, and the world that we knew through the books. Michael wanted to build sets that would work for the sort of the environment. So important for Jim Carrey is the Grinch was going to be very physical and moving around a lot, but also Whoville. He used a lot of tricks like they use in these kind of crazy haunted houses, like things were there were little optical illusions, like little ramps that were built in and things like that that people could lean into, and suddenly it would look like they were leaning way over, but they weren't really, you know. Handholds for Jim, knowing that he was going to move around, and of course he talked to Jim about it, and as the rehearsal unfolded, his cave became a place where Jim knew, oh, I can swing on this and pivot. Michael was there very actively, helping to create the whimsy and the comedy.
That's one way to get to a couch or
The only
bed.
real
Whatever
Can you
the heck.
imagine?
Everything's supposed to be. That's
I mean, his
crazy.
cave's pretty cool looking.
Yeah, he put a lot of cool
Yeah.
stuff in that thing. He made it
Some of
fun.
them are old
You're
traditional
away from everybody. Like,
Oh,
but also
And he did it all himself, which is
some
also
things
impressive.
with that. And it was about creating a
And
world
set
that
up.
had as much
Oh, yeah.
scope. So
Very
we didn't allow
cozy.
ourselves to see off
And fun.
the set
Yeah,
and
you
see
get
that
the fun of
Whoville
it.
went on and on. We did establish an opening where you realized that it was sort of inside a snowflake was this whole universe. And so a lot
That's
of those
cool.
ideas were
When they
pulled
go into the
back.
snowflake and then out
We
of the
don't wanna look
snowflake at
like
the
we're
end.
set-bound.
I
We
love
have to
that,
transport
how they
people
did
to
that.
a world, an entire world.
The first time I walked on the set, it was magical. It was this whimsical world in 3D, and it was massive. All these sound stages just built to perfection. And it was crazy to me how we were filming in Los Angeles at the time. So you're outside and you're hot in all these costumes, and as soon as you stepped onto the set, it was an ice box, and it felt like winter. So it felt like Whoville. And so as soon as you were on set, you felt like you were really living inside this world. I also remember
Hot
thinking it was
weather.
very cool
Could
when I
not
learned that
imagine.
all of the props, everything that was built was made out of the styrofoam, and the fake snow had a scent that I will never forget. Scents are
A scent.
powerful, and that is
Snow.
ingrained into my
That's interesting,
mind
ain't it?
of what
The stuff you don't know
Christmas
about
is
this film.
Those Who's are hard to throttle, Max. But we did our worst, and that's all that matters. At least I scared the bejeebers out of that little girl in post office. She'll be scarred for life if we're lucky.
Meredith Boswell was our set decorator, and she worked with Michael
That thing,
Kornblith
yeah,
on
no
many
fake.
projects. Later became
You can't even get one of those
designer
things.
herself.
That'd be great.
That would be great, but it has it has like attached to the house.
She just
It's like putting staples in for you. That's
understood
crazy.
Whoville. Meredith got
Perfect
it.
face.
I would say, yeah, what?
If Michael was
I
designing
wish.
sets, she was
That'd be an easy
looking
decorator.
all around the world for examples. In the way that Michael found Gaudi as an architect that he could sort of take some inspiration from, she found a lot of designs from Eastern Europe right after the war of home utensils and chairs.
That's
and just like
interesting.
that somehow really, really worked for Whoville. And some of those were actually just acquired and maybe painted. I mean, not everything was made, but about 70% of the props had to be designed and physically made, whether that was in wood, plastic, or foam.
Merry Christmas, one and all!
People working on the film treated this with a certain kind of commitment and loyalty and seriousness that really started to remind me of the way people felt about working on Apollo 13, where they so loved that story and respected that story, and they wanted to get it right. You know, in that case, it's about being historically accurate. In this case, it's about transferring that sense of what this story means to us as a culture, what the Seuss tone feels like, as much of that as we possibly can.
You imagine how long it took them to build all this set.
Everybody jumped in. I don't think anybody said no to being a part of this. Again, this combination of Jim playing the Grinch and the cinematic potential, the creative potential it would mean for everybody in every department, they really rose to the occasion.
It was really the very best of Hollywood.
Yes.
I mean, the very best of what you think about Hollywood and the romance of Hollywood and how movies were made. We built Whoville on the Universal lot. We had every kind of visual and special effects going on, makeup, and inhabiting the biggest sound stages on the lot.
We had like 7 or 8 of the stages.
Yeah, it was huge scale.
I mean, it was like you'd go there in the morning and you'd say, oh, this is what making the Wizard of Oz must have been like.
Yeah.
It was just
Right?
Yeah.
Wizard of Oz is like one of my favorite.
Except that was way before this movie.
I might Wizard of
It
Oz.
was 2000.
Big scale movie where everything.
So even though it wasn't like fall ahead, it was still pretty good ahead.
What was great about the Grinch
That was
is now I knew that I could
1930
do a
something.
film
It was
at that kind of a scale.
Dominoes, who? Fighting you down now. On such short notice. Even if I
Remember
wanted
that
to,
scene?
my schedule wouldn't allow it.
Our studio, Universal, the chairman picked a date. Picking dates, release dates, is a big deal. You pick the date, you stake it out, and you say, that's my date. And if someone decides they're going to have their film come out on that date, that's a fight. A real, like, alpha thing. We have a Christmas
That's a
film.
cool poster. I love
I
that.
know, it's my
And one little
favorite.
ornament.
Studio
Yeah,
across
it's my
the street
favorite.
basically
Yeah, I
says,
like that.
we're taking that date, we're going to put our movie on the date. The guy that ran our studio said, no way, and he gets very ramped up about it, and I thought, wow, he's irrationally emotional. Neither Ron or I are gigantically confrontational, but I think we both said, or I know I said, why don't we just move to another date? You know, like, why don't you fight with people? And the guy said, no, it's the only date for the movie. I said, okay. They kept their movie on that date, and we just crushed it. Our
With the
movie
games
just
again.
blew up. It was a big discovery
That's a
for
good
kids
picture.
and
That's a
families and
cool
everybody.
picture right there.
It
It's Whoville
did
with all.
better and
Yeah,
better
that's
every
cool.
day.
Yeah,
It was
yeah.
very
It's a Jim
rewarding
Carrey. It's just
experience.
cool.
So that was very
such an
memorable to
awesome-
me. It was a
It wouldn't
really
be the Grinch without Jim
very
Carrey.
No.
well
No, he made that character so good.
Like, when that movie first came out, I was so excited because
He was playing that.
Jim Carrey was playing it.
Imagine with someone else though. I don't think it would have made as pop. I don't know.
I don't think it would have been the same. 'Cause
Jim Carrey is like he's so good at this character.
Yes. Any movie
I
he's
think
ever
it's
been
the
in,
hardest
Jim
movie
Carrey
I've
Yeah,
does well.
He's always
Because it
so
was
funny.
such a challenge.
So he's such a good actor.
Yeah.
But it was a challenge for everyone.
No, nothing like Jim
It was the
Carrey's
makeup,
fault.
it was the scope
No.
of it. It was the fact that every prop had to be designed. It had all the detail and specificity of an
Same way
animated
with
film,
The
but
Mask,
lots of
I
light.
think it
I
was.
felt
Yeah,
the
he played
pressure.
in the mask.
He did
Yeah.
really well with that one
Timetables,
too.
He's
we
just-
had to make
he's just
Christmas.
the talent.
Yeah.
2000.
Go
On
on.
a personal level, my mom was very ill at that time,
Oh,
and my dad was working on the film. We were
That's
in
sad.
Universal, and my mom was at St. Joseph's Hospital, which is just a few
Oh, that's
blocks away.
sad.
So I mean, in the midst of it, after work,
Dad
we
was
were going
on
to
the
visit
film
her
when
at
she
the
was in
hospital.
St.
His dad
Joseph.
And one of the
was
things
with
that kind of
I
kept
guess
me
because
going
she said
about
in
it
the
was
mom
that
was
she
in
just
St.
loved
Joseph's
Christmas so
Hospital.
much.
Said.
I wound up dedicating the movie to her. She passed before the movie came out.
Oh.
I think all
Okay,
of
that's
us shared
just
this
that's
idea.
sad.
You know, if you
Aw, that
love
sucks.
Imagine making a
what
movie
this
and you hear your
holiday
mom
can
died.
mean to
That
people and what it
sucks.
represents
She never got
so
to
many
see it.
people around
She never got to
the
see it.
world.
That's
Let's get
sad.
this right.
She probably would have liked what he did with it too.
What?
It was nice he dedicated
Don't
it.
forget the Grinch. I know he's mean and hairy and smelly, but I think he's actually kind.
Smelly and.
To see the Grinch celebrated every year is remarkable. I mean, to be a part of a film that has lasted the test of time, 25 years is a long time, is absolutely mind-blowing. It's such a world unto
It hold
itself.
up to the
Every
years
child
too.
can
It's still
connect
going
to that.
strong. I'm just saying, it's coming back to theaters this year.
Every
Anything
year.
can
Happen
And it really held up.
And I think
Yeah.
adults
Everyone watches
connect
yearly.
for the same
Yeah.
reason.
Like a
It
tradition.
brings them just genuine joy. I think the Grinch just brings genuine joy to everyone. And it
Exactly.
certainly does to me, and I think that that's why it comes around every year, and people look forward to it so much.
I think it's so unique. It so reaches people's hearts, whether Christmas is celebrated in that country or not.
Yeah.
There's an equivalent in that country. People really relate to it as an emotional, exciting, adventurous experience. You hear about it every year. It's people's favorite movie.
Yep. That's the truth. Very much so.
I've had people come up to me and say that I had a really bad year when I was 11, and I watched The Grinch almost every day, all year, and it got me through the year. And I think it has to do again with that feeling of being an outsider, not being included, coping with the rage, the anger, and then finally, resolving it and coming to terms with it and understanding our differences and what connects us. I think that has a lot to do with the ongoing sort of value of.
That's a beautiful way of stating it. We haven't done that.
So he did really well
We
with
haven't talked about it ever.
Waterman. Yeah, he did.
Right. I see that. Cut, print, check the game, moving on.
There's nothing like the Grinch.
I love it when he does
There's
that.
just nothing like that movie.
The way he walks.
That was interesting though. That was
cool.
That was
Yeah.
cool. Yeah, I'm glad we did that. That was us watching an exclusive documentary on the making of Dr. Seuss's How the Grinch Stole Christmas, starring Jim Carrey. Coming up next, we're going to be answering a question about How the Grinch Stole Christmas with Jim Carrey, so definitely stay tuned for that. If you're just tuning in, welcome. And yeah, stay tuned. We have more coming up right after this.
Every Who down in Whoville liked Christmas a lot.
Wrong-o.
You're
The Grinch! I must stop this Christmas from coming!
Director Ron Howard and producer Brian Grazer invite you.
Forgot about the reindeer. Action! Brilliant!
To celebrate the holiday classic.
Holiday Hoobie Whatty.
Doesn't this seem like a bit much?
In theaters.
This could change my entire outlook on life!
Really?
No.
Jim Carrey.
Even if we're horribly mangled, there'll be no sad faces on Christmas.
Dr. Seuss's How the Grinch Stole Christmas.
Even if I wanted to go, my schedule wouldn't allow it. 4 o'clock, wallow in self-pity. 6:30, dinner with me. I can't cancel that again.
Back in theaters this holiday season.
Hey guys, welcome back to this 25-year celebration of Jim Carrey's How the Grinch Stole Christmas here on YouTube. I am so excited you're here. If you're just tuning in, welcome. You did not miss much, because coming up we have more great Grinchy stuff for you, so definitely stay tuned. Coming up a little bit later, we're going to be watching the bloopers from How the Grinch Stole Christmas with Jim Carrey, so definitely stay tuned for that. You will not want to miss out. It's going to be really funny, really fun, and you're definitely not going to want to miss out on those bloopers, so definitely stay tuned, because me and Wanda's going to be watching them coming up a little bit later. But wait now, like I said, me and Wanda's going to be answering a question from Dr. Seuss's How the Grinch Stole Christmas with Jim Carrey, so enjoy.
My favorite character is the Grinch.
My favorite character from the film How the Grinch Stole Christmas from 2000 is Lulu Who. That was me and Wanda answering a Grinchy question. Coming up right now, I'm going to be watching an exclusive interview from Entertainment Tonight with Taylor Momsen, the girl who played Cindy Lou Who. So sit back, relax, enjoy. I'll be back after this.
We're going to take a little trip down memory lane today. Are you ready for this? I'm so ready for it. I'm excited.
For what reason do I have to come clean?
This is such a good movie. I love The Grinch.
Your very first BT interview. And this was in 2000 at the How the Grinch Stole Christmas Sunday.
Oh, it was a lot. loved it. Just coming to the set every day, seeing everybody, and acting the scene out was just a thrill for me.
He's so little. 25 years later.
He says he's so little, that's funny.
That's my reaction. Taylor Momsen was just 7 years old when she played.
Oh, she was 7 years old in this. And she played in the Grinch. That's crazy. She did pretty good at the singing part, though, when she sang Merry Christmas. I think she did a very good job in that part.
Yeah, but even though we've done the new version and I duet with my childhood self, but still hearing my kid vocal, like, it's just, I can't not laugh at it. It's so, I'm so little.
Now, the 32-year-old actress turned singer has recreated the famous track on her new holiday EP, Taylor Momsen's Pretty Reckless Christmas.
Oh, that's cool that she redid it. That's pretty cool. At least I think so.
To play back for the first time, like I got teary-eyed, like I got emotional with it, and something I wasn't expecting. It's just a crazy feeling to duet with your childhood self. Like what an odd and unique experience to have, and I love it. Like I love it so much.
Let's go back to the beginning. What do you remember most about that audition process for the Grinch?
Good question.
Oh gosh, the screen testing I think is the thing that sticks in my head the most, because that was when it was finally kind of narrowed down to the last 2 or 3 girls. That's when we started to play with costumes, and so they brought in wigs and all these whimsical outfits and poo pads, and so it was the very beginning stage of starting to become Cindy. And so that was really fun for me as a child to get to play dress up and start to actually see myself as this character.
Boy, nothing beats Christmas, right?
Yes.
The scent of the snow on set was really specific. It was fake. And I unboxed recently for the photo shoot for the Christmas record. I unboxed the movie wig for the first time that Rick Baker loaned to me for the shoot. And it's been 25 years, and it still had the snow on it. And so when I opened the box,
That's interesting. Very interesting.
The set just came flooding out of the box, and it was very amazing.
Everyone getting on Kabobble. Doesn't this seem superfluous?
Do you remember always having a love for acting? Like, did that always come easy to you?
It was a love for acting is the wrong way to say it. It was more because I started so young. I started at 2. It was just something I always did. Grinch in particular, though, I had a really great time. Like that I remember with only.
It's good. She had a fun time doing it.
A part of kind of coming full circle and celebrating that film this year with this record and everything. It's something that I kind of needed to do for myself, and it's great. Like I grew up in Whoville. Like not many people can say that. Like it's pretty cool.
What's wild is you had such a musical talent at such a young age. So are you ready to see our next clip? And this is actually from this same interview.
It would probably make me blush again.
I get so embarrassed watching it. Oh.
I actually wrote a song about the heat deciding not to bring a pet.
I would love to hear it.
Okay. It's not the same as how my dad plays the guitar, but I'll sing it. One day in California, I was walking down the street, begging for a pet, my sweet, sweet, sweet. Mommy said, Taylor, just wait.
Hey, she's pretty good at singing. She's pretty good at it. Gotta say. But if you think about it, the Grinch would not be the same without Taylor Momsen. Whole Plains in the Louisville just made it even more special, in my opinion.
Oh, I remember.
So you still know this one?
Oh yeah, it's one of my first songs I wrote. I'm so committed to that bit right there, like a cappella. Just go for it. It's funny.
And I love you so lyrics to that song. Tell me about that song in particular.
I really wanted a dog. I had just done the Grinch, and I fell in love with Kelly, who played Max, and she was kind of like my pet for 2 years, and then suddenly she was gone, and I really wanted an animal. So the story is almost verbatim of what happened in my life. I want a pet. My mom said no, but you can work here. So there's the song.
Alright, we also have another tip for you, and this is from the Grinch premiere in 2000.
What was it like working with Jim Carrey?
Oh, he's such a great guy. He always loves to cut with laughter. He's such a talented actor. And I really enjoyed working with him.
I'm trying to think, don't I? You grow and evolve as a person, but there's no inherent quality about everyone I think when you're born that you kind of have. Like I am Cindy Lou Who. I'm 32 years old, but I'm a 32-year-old Cindy Lou Who now. Like we're the same.
Vengeance. When you talk about like being Jim Carrey, what do you remember most about being on set with him?
I just remember him being amazing. Like he was so protective of me in such a like compassionate, caring, like always checking in, making sure I was good. He always made me laugh. Like he was very fun to work with and like made me very, very comfortable. And I think we made a special bond, which I have to bring it up. We just saw each other for the first time in 25 years.
That probably was a great experience. Meeting Jim Carrey again after 25 years. That would be amazing, I bet. That'd be crazy.
There's this connection there, but and then you think about it and you go, well, I spent like 2 years of my life with him. It's like no time had passed and it was being a family member and it was amazing. And all of that.
You are all good. And you also put us on the carpet that you would be open to maybe doing a sequel.
When Jim Carrey asks you to do something, it's you pay attention. So we'll see.
Do you think that really is a possibility?
I mean, I doubt it. I doubt that's happening in any world. But I also, so many weird turns have happened in my life and things that I thought would never happen. I mean, if Jim called me, there's certainly a conversation to be had. Do I see myself returning to acting? No. But like I said, life is weird.
Wasn't that interesting? That was me watching an exclusive interview from Entertainment Tonight with starring Taylor Momsen, the girl who played Cindy Lou Who, in the 2000 How the Grinch Stole Christmas, starring Jim Carrey. Coming up after this quick break, we are going to be watching some bloopers from Dr. Seuss's How the Grinch Stole Christmas, starring Jim Carrey. Stay tuned. We'll be back with more Grinchy action after this.
Every Who down in Whoville liked Christmas a lot.
Wrong-o.
You're the
The Grinch! I must stop this Christmas from coming!
Director Ron Howard and producer Brian Grazer invite you.
Forgot about the reindeer. Action! Brilliant!
To celebrate the holiday classic.
Holiday Who be whatty?
Doesn't this seem like a bit much?
In theaters.
This could change my entire outlook on life!
Really?
No.
Jim Carrey.
Even if we're horribly mangled, there'll be no sad faces on Christmas.
Dr. Seuss's How the Grinch Stole Christmas.
Even if I wanted to go, my schedule wouldn't allow it. 4 o'clock, wallow in self-pity. 6:30, dinner with me. I can't cancel that again.
Back in theaters this holiday season.
Welcome back to this 25-year celebration of Jim Carrey's How the Grinch Stole Christmas. Right now, me and Wanda is going to be watching some bloopers from How the Grinch Stole Christmas. So definitely get ready to laugh out loud. Sit back, relax, and enjoy. Here is the bloopers from How the Grinch Stole Christmas. Enjoy.
This is a Flip Mode Squad Jim Carrey collabo. Oh, yeah.
No, this is playing out.
Improperly packaged, my dear.
Yeah. Funny stuff. Funny stuff they do while filming. See, they got. Yeah, got it.
Oops, sorry. What? Sorry. Oh, sorry. I'm sorry.
Messing up.
Sorry, I gotta start over. I'm sorry. Can we start again? I'm gonna start over again. We're gonna do that over again. I gotta go again. No, take you out, right? That's I didn't do my name.
What the?
My sweet, this is tough. There's a light on this. What?
Oh, it didn't break. What?
No, Kelly, no. Kelly, no. No.
Well, yes, but the book also says that, what is this? Fruitcake! La la la! Sounds like another language. Oh, no. Please become Mrs. Augustus Maple.
I hate you.
I hate you too. It's awful.
And I'm
Oh,
okay, yeah. Sorry. I got
he just jumped on that guy? That's crazy.
You okay? My teeth come out. My teeth just fell out.
Touch the door.
Her teeth came out too.
He looked lying. Get out of the
I hope Santa isn't watching.
I hope Santa.
I don't know what I'm doing.
The baby. Oh
Ew.
my goodness. They just dabbing him.
Ew. Tore his nose right off. That's gross.
That was good.
That was funny.
That was funny. That was funny. That was us watching the bloopers from Dr. Seuss's How the Grinch Stole Christmas, starring Jim Carrey. If you just tuned in, welcome. We are celebrating 25 years of Dr. Seuss's How the Grinch Stole Christmas with Jim Carrey, and I am excited to be with you. I hope you're excited to be here. I love this movie, and I'm so excited that I am doing a 25-year Grinch special. Yes, I'm excited. I'm so happy you're with me. Coming up after this quick break, I am going to be talking with you guys about why I like this movie so much and why it means so much to me. So definitely stay tuned. We'll be back right after the break. Stay tuned.
Every Who down in Whoville liked Christmas a lot.
Wrong-o.
You're
The Grinch! I must stop this Christmas from coming!
Director Ron Howard and producer Brian Grazer invite you.
Forgot about the reindeer. Action! Brilliant!
To celebrate the holiday classic.
Holiday Hoobie Whatty?
Doesn't this seem like a bit much?
In theaters.
This could change my entire outlook on life!
Really?
No.
Jim Carrey.
Even if we're horribly mangled, there'll be no sad faces on Christmas.
Dr. Seuss's How the Grinch Stole Christmas.
Even if I wanted to go, my schedule wouldn't allow it. 4 o'clock, wallow in self-pity. 6:30, dinner with me. I can't cancel that again.
Back in theaters this holiday season.
Hey guys, welcome back to this 25-year special of How the Grinch Stole Christmas starring Jim Carrey. I cannot believe it's been 25 years since this movie came out. Right now, I'm going to be talking to you guys about why this movie means so much to me and what I like about this film in general and the casting and everything. I'm going to be talking about it all with you guys. So sit back, relax, and enjoy. So right now, I would like to start by talking about Jim Carrey playing the Grinch for a second. I feel like him playing the Grinch is what made the movie what it is. I think without Jim Carrey playing the Grinch, it just wouldn't have been the same. Maybe just because I'm so used to him playing the Grinch after these 25 years. But I do, once again, not just think about that, but I do feel like it wouldn't be the same without him. Because Jim Carrey is just one of those comedians and one of those people that just like could sell it in a way that's believable. Now, I do know that Jim Carrey did go through a lot, not just in his early life, but he did go through a lot getting all the makeup on him and such while making this film. Like, I couldn't imagine getting all that makeup on me. Like, I feel like that would be really crazy and really, the patience would have to be so much perfect. And, like, I don't have that kind of patience. But, I just feel like you gotta have a lot of patience to do that. So that's really something I could never do, but I do appreciate how he portrayed that character, the Grinch, and I'm so happy that he was the one that played the Grinch in the final product. Okay, now let's talk about Taylor Momsen, who played Cindy Lou Who for a second. I feel like Force was just adorable. She was adorable in this film. She really sold the Cindy Lou Who character, and I feel like once again it wouldn't have been the same without her. Like honestly, just simply because the way that she played Cindy Lou Who was such a perfect way to play her, and even with her even when she smiled, it just brings like joy to my heart. And it just makes me feel happy, and I love how she portrayed Cindy Lou Who. I feel like it couldn't have been any better any other way, and I feel like if she did not play Cindy Lou Who in the 2000 Halloween Show Christmas with Jim Carrey, I feel like it wouldn't have been the same, and I just feel like she just sold that character, made it so believable, and I just love how she portrayed Cindy Lou Who. Now I can say that my favorite scene / part of the whole film of Jim Carrey's How the Grinch Stole Christmas, I got many parts I like, but one part I really especially like is, I would say, when his heart changes on Mount Crumpet. Just because I feel like when that happens, I always say like, yes, he's changed. But I feel like that's just a big scene in the movie, and it means so much to so many people that he changed from being bad to good because of a little girl named Cindy Lou Who. Like, do you imagine that? That's just so awesome and so cool, and I really like that scene. Now, honestly, talking about my least favorite character from How the Grinch Stole Christmas with Jim Carrey, I would say my least favorite character is the mayor, but I feel like he's a bully, and because like everyone in their life, at least most people have bullies when they're in school or at some point they have a bully. I feel like him being a bully is just not right, and it's like it really means it hits me so hard knowing that he's a bully, that it's kind of sad to me. And of course, and if you think about it, even with that scene in the movie where he gives the Grinch the shaver at when he's in Whoville with the Who's, it's like, why would you even do that? That's just so mean, and that's a scene, that's a character and scene I just do not like. If I do have to say which scene I don't like in the movie, I would definitely say that one. But it just makes me tear up, and it's just it's so sad. And I feel bad for the Grinch. Now, before we go to the next thing in this Grinch special, I just want to quickly say to you guys, if you have not seen this movie before, if you have not seen Jim Carrey's How the Grinch Stole Christmas from the year 2000, I would definitely watch it, and you can even tell me what you think of it in the comments below. And even if you have seen it, let me know what you think. But especially if you haven't, definitely check it out. I know you can watch it on Peacock right now. It's actually, last time I looked, it was the #1 movie on Peacock right now. And then it's also coming back to theaters this month. And it's just make sure you check out the film. If you haven't seen it on the big screen yet, go see it on the big screen. It's definitely a film that you need to watch. At least in my opinion, it's definitely a film you need to watch and experience. Okay guys, coming up after this break, we have some more Grinchy stuff for you, so definitely stay tuned. We are celebrating 25 years of Jim Carrey's How the Grinch Stole Christmas. If you just tuned in, welcome, and like I said, we have more coming up right after the break, so stay tuned.
Every Who down in Whoville liked Christmas a lot.
Wrong-o.
You're the
The Grinch! I must stop this Christmas from coming!
Director Ron Howard and producer Brian Grazer invite you.
Forgot about the reindeer. Action! Brilliant!
To celebrate the holiday classic.
Holiday Whoobie Whatty?
Doesn't this seem like a bit much?
In theaters.
This could change my entire outlook on life!
Really?
No.
Jim Carrey.
Even if we're horribly mangled, there'll be no sad faces on Christmas.
Dr. Seuss's How the Grinch Stole Christmas.
Even if I wanted to go, my schedule wouldn't allow it. 4 o'clock, wallow in self-pity. 6:30, dinner with me. I can't cancel that again.
Back in theaters this holiday season.
Okay guys, welcome back to the 25-year celebration of Jim Carrey's How the Grinch Stole Christmas here on YouTube. I am so excited to be with you. If you're just tuning in, my name is Noah. Welcome. And if you're new to the channel, welcome. Here is an exclusive documentary called Step by Step and Inch by Inch on 25-year special of How the Grinch Stole Christmas with Jim Carrey. Enjoy.
At Christmas time, Santa Claus had better watch out, because there's a new guy in town.
Action!
As Jim Carrey brings the Grinch.
Fabulous! He's green, he's hairy, he's hilarious.
And his two closest friends on a roller coaster ride through the wonderful world of Whoville. As we discover the secrets behind the movie magic of a modern Christmas classic.
That worked out nicely.
From Ron Howard, acclaimed director of Apollo 13, Ransom, and Backdraft.
Great.
And Brian Grazer, award-winning producer of Ransom and Liar Liar, comes the unforgettable story of...
The Grinch!
Inside a snowflake, like the one on your sleeve, there happened a story you must see to believe.
The challenge was to be true to the Grinch as he existed in the books, because he's a great character. Number two, to create a screen character that worked for a modern motion picture audience.
Way up in the mountains, in the high range of Pontoos, lay the small town of Whoville, the home of the Whos.
Whoville is this very upbeat place. People are very busy. They're happy, but they're busy.
For the next 5 minutes only, 99% off.
Yes, every Who down in Whoville liked Christmas a lot, but the Grinch, who lived just north of Whoville, did not.
He's an outcast. He lives up on a mountain. He won't have anything to do with the Whos.
I guess I could use a little social interaction.
And the Who's favorite holiday is the Christmas holiday. And the Grinch, therefore, cannot stand Christmas.
How dare they?
There's a little girl named Cindy Lou Who, who's looking around as the entire town are just going completely out of their minds, worrying about presents, worrying about decorations. And she's wondering where the spirit of Christmas has gone.
Doesn't this seem like a bit much?
This is what Christmas is all about.
But she begins to realize that there's one figure in this whole area that seems to share her sense of frustration about the Christmas holiday.
Nutcrackers.
And who is it? The Grinch.
So Cindy Lou hatches a plan to bring the Grinch down to Whoville, while the Grinch devises a plan of his own to steal the Who's entire Christmas, from the presents to the Christmas feast.
Something I just cannot stand in the least.
Oh no.
I'm speaking in rhyme!
I always saw Jim Carrey. Always.
Almost lost my cool there.
Oh, it's a perfect person to play the part.
Yes!
Jim Carrey brought a level of passion and total belief in the story, its entertainment value, and a sense of just the hipness of this character.
Oh.
He didn't need any convincing.
No, yes, no, yes. No, yes.
Jim is brilliantly funny.
His performance is amazing. Oh. He puts such a high standard on himself that I guess he even exceeded that.
The next step would be the physical transformation of Jim Carrey into the Grinch.
Taxi! It's because I'm green, isn't it?
It was clear that Jim Carrey's costume would have to be something special.
With this coat and this hat, I'll look just like Saint Nick. Ho, ho, ho!
and that his makeup could only be the work of the world's foremost expert, 5-time Academy Award winner Rick Baker.
I'd always hoped that sometime in my life I would be able to do a big fantasy like this, and I'm so happy.
Makeup that Jim Carrey wore took months to develop.
Come on while I'm young!
To become the Grinch, Jim Carrey would combine his unique brand of physical comedy with the physical transformation that would take place every day in Rick Baker's makeup chair.
If it's going to work on anybody, it would work on Jim because he's so good at contorting his face. He does this great Grinch face, right? Does a weird smile and stuff, you know. Jim's got, you know, a rubber face to begin with.
Not only did we want to be true to the original character, the character that Dr. Seuss created, but the second thing was to create a look that Jim Carrey could work with and do his best work.
Who knows? This jubilation could change my entire outlook on life.
Really?
No.
Well, I just saw him, and I'm like, oh my gosh, who are you? He said, I'm the Grinch. And I'm like, whoa.
But Jim Carrey wasn't the only one being transformed. Every Who down in Whoville needed a certain unique look, and it was up to Rick and his team to design each and every one of them.
Well, I had 7 makeup tests from April till September. At one point, they even talked about no prosthetic because I have a who knows.
The scale of this movie is so immense. Never have I done anything where we had, 90 people in makeup.
This is actually a bigger makeup than what I did for Austin Powers playing Mini-Me. The only thing is my eyes. That's the only thing that's real.
One by one, the cast of The Grinch came together.
Come on, a minute ago I couldn't shut you up. Details, details.
Along with such familiar faces as Jeffrey Tambor as the mayor of Whoville.
Someone just say, Grinch.
What do you want? I mean, Grinch! Oh, no!
And Christine Baranski as the Grinch's old flame.
Did I have a crush on the Grinch? Well, of course not.
I didn't ask you that.
Oh, right.
Martha May Whovier seems to have a little infatuation for the Grinch, even though he's green and hairy.
6-year-old Taylor Momsen would star as Cindy Lou Who, the little girl who is convinced that the Grinch is not really nasty, merely misunderstood.
Taylor Momsen is a real discovery. She seems to have an innate understanding of the Cindy Lou Who character.
She has the nerve to go up to the Grinch's cave and knock on his door and to speak to the Grinch.
What do you want?
She pulls out an invitation to the jubilation and asks him to come down and be holiday cheermeister.
Holiday who be whaty?
Cheermeister.
Huh? Share my celebrate. That's a good one.
But there was one more essential cast member who couldn't be found from Central Casting.
Max the dog is a very important character. Max lives with the Grinch, the only living creature that the Grinch seems willing to tolerate.
Get the stick, Max. Get the stick.
Max puts up with a lot as a result.
There's no stick. I'm smarter. I asked for 3/4, not 5/8. Stay focused.
Max was actually rescued from a pound about 4 or 5 months before the filming.
Her real name's Kelly. I spend a lot of time with her. She's fun.
Max doesn't have a single line of dialogue, but his role will be one of the toughest to rehearse.
We do a lot of wire work. We made harnesses that fit over their head, across their back, that you can reach down and grab the dog like you see in the cartoon. It shows on film.
Oh, Max.
Because a dog loves him.
I love you.
The dog literally loves him.
All right, that's enough. Knock it off. Beat it.
Kelly, the dog from the pound, didn't know it yet, but the movie would change the rest of her life.
I got a list. I have a list of people waiting. They said, wow, this dog was going to be in the movies. Yeah, we want this dog. Now you've saved this dog's life.
Bleeding hearts of the world unite!
As the cast came together, so did the crew of costume designers, set builders, makeup artists, and special effects technicians, who would be responsible for bringing the world of the Grinch to life.
Ultimately, we have been on 11 stages, a couple of which have been turned over and have had multiple events on them.
Turning the production sketches, storyboards, and models into actual buildings was one of the most ambitious operations ever attempted for a motion picture.
We built everything in model form first, which was truly the way to explore these forms to really get what we wanted.
It's also colorful, it's vivid, it's very upbeat, because the Who's are very upbeat.
But the most impressive set would be Mount Crumpet, the Grinch's lair.
There's no place like home.
Inside his cave, the Grinch has created a remarkable world using junk and cast-off pieces of equipment from Whoville.
Ugh, what is that stench? It's fantastic.
He's fashioned really an amazing place to live. I mean, it's sort of every boy's dream.
The construction of the sets would take thousands of man-hours, but the results were there for all to see.
You walk on the set and it's like a world has totally been created.
And these vast sets would have to be filled with thousands of props.
I never worked on a show with this much manufacturing. Everything has to be made. Forks, knives, toilet paper, everything.
But what would I wear?
Hundreds of costumes would also be required for the Who's of Whoville.
I've never worn clothes as dazzling as this character because they're like couture clothes in extreme.
It's not a dress, it's a kilt. Sicko.
We use a lot of fashion puns. And when you look at the Who's, we have kind of Prada Who and a Chanel Who, and I don't know how many people will notice that, but that made it a lot of fun for me.
Well, the most fun for me were the cars. They really drive, and they're fun to tool around the back lot of Universal.
Brakes!
One day I drove by Steven Spielberg's office because I knew he'd be jealous, and he was.
Finally, after almost a year of pre-production, preparation, and construction, the filmmakers were ready to start shooting. The fun and the hard work were just beginning.
Action!
When Ron Howard and Brian Grazer first considered the idea of turning the classic children's story, How the Grinch Stole Christmas, written by Dr. Seuss, into a major motion picture, they knew they were taking on a formidable task.
The book that the movie is inspired by is, I don't know, it's only 15 pages long. It's very thin.
It's a great responsibility to be the first people chosen to bring Dr. Seuss to live action, and we're trying to do something really special.
It has a lot of great ideas, but as modern movie makers, we had to use them for inspiration and go from there.
All right.
Action!
Principal photography on The Grinch began in early 1999, with the entire cast and crew immediately getting into the spirit of the film.
All right. I'll swing by for a minute, allow them to envy me, grab a handful of popcorn shrimp, and blow out of there.
Cut. Okay, good.
For Ron Howard, it was finally a chance to concentrate on the core of the movie.
It's a performance movie. This is all about actors.
Beyond all of the insane comedy and big scope that this picture has, at the center of this movie is a relationship between Cindy Lou Who, who's amazing actually, and the Grinch.
Mr. Grinch, my name is Cindy Lou Who.
Here's Taylor, just turned 6 years old, and she has 3 of the most important scenes in the movie are one-on-ones with Jim Carrey.
Santa, what's Christmas really about?
Vengeance!
And she stood toe-to-toe with Jim, who loved her, who adored her. And together, they wound up delivering 3 of the greatest scenes in the film.
Hello, little girl. How dare you enter the Grinch's lair? The impudence! The audacity!
I know you hate Christmas, but what if it's all just a misunderstanding?
Don't care.
I mean, I myself am having some Yuletide doubts. But maybe if you can reunite with the Who's and be a part of Christmas...
Maybe if you can reunite with the Who's and be a part of Christmas...
Grow up!
Then maybe it'll be all right for me, too.
I'm sorry, your session is over. Please make another appointment with the receptionist on the way out.
Please, please, you have to accept the award.
Award?
You never mentioned an award.
Yeah, with a trophy and everything.
And I won.
You won!
That means there were losers.
I guess. So if you come
down for losers.
Alongside these intimate scenes in the Grinch's lair, Ron Howard had to face the challenge of bringing Whoville to life.
In Whoville, the physical laws are just a little off. People seem to be able to lean out a little further than they normally would. And it leads to a visually funny, kind of skewed environment. We got a lot of circus performers as actors playing small parts, working in the background, and in order to get everybody sort of moving the same way, behaving the same way, we had about 3 weeks of Who School to try to develop, you know, sort of a Who-y way of doing things.
But becoming a Who would be a challenge for all the actors.
Hey, stranger, won't let you go till you buy a chapeau.
It was so much fun to create scenes where the Grinch is actually interacting with the Who's, which has never existed in any version of the story before. I had so much fun taking the Grinch and throwing him in the middle of this culture that he despises.
They're relentless!
The production was not without problems, however.
The whole suit that Jim wears, the hairs are individually tied in a hair at a time. So it takes a long time to do a suit.
This is ridiculous. If I can't find something nice to wear, I'm not going.
After the first week of shooting, I thought, you know, we haven't made enough spare parts, because Jim is so energetic and he gets into what he's doing so much, his concern is only about his performance. And many times what he does just trashes the suit.
And gradually, the novelty of the makeup chair began to wear off.
When I climb into the makeup chair, I have figured out that it's about like taking a plane flight to Dallas, Texas, every day.
Every actor, including Max the dog, had some makeup involved in creating this fantasy world. And there were times when Max didn't appreciate the makeup.
Eventually, Ron Howard decided he had to experience what the cast was going through.
I heard a rumor that he might wear the makeup one day. And I told him, I said, you know, Bud, that would be a really good move if you did that. If you showed us all that you too can get ugly.
I did dress up as the Grinch one day and directed all day long as the Grinch. It must have been very confusing for everyone else.
Cut!
While shooting continued at Universal Studios, work was already underway at Digital Domain, the special effects team behind Ron Howard's Oscar-winning Apollo 13.
Probably the biggest challenge in this film is the sheer number of shots. We know it's, 300 plus probably.
I didn't want the special effects to overpower live flesh and blood actors. But on the other hand, I really wanted to create a complete new world for the audience to explore.
On calm nights, baby Who girls and tiny Who fellas drift from the sky in their own umbrellas.
Ron has been remarkable because it's one of the first movies that I've been on that we've been able to sit at a table, all of the department heads, and discuss everybody's needs.
Of course, if we make a move, we'd have to CGI the, background. Yes. Or would we? We used 11 different sound stages, but to go ahead and extend the world, we used a lot of computer-generated matte paintings.
Often, CGI effects would go hand in hand with physical effects.
The set, as large as it is really still a fairly small part of a town. There is a blue screen wrapping around it that allows us to composite extended buildings, mountains, sky, etc.
We filled in the background with even more masses of who's to really create the scope and the scale of the movies.
What we see here is the original plate, the blue screen in the background, and then what we've done is we've added additional characters.
And now the nominations for that Who Among Us who best typifies the qualities of Whodom and Whodoree, the Whoville Holiday Cheermeister.
In Whoville, not everybody is the same size.
Evening, folks.
All the way down to these little guys we call peewees.
They're pretty much everywhere if you look hard enough, and it's our job to put them in the shots.
That's gonna hurt in the morning.
There's a shot where a guy's playing the horn and a little guy playing a horn comes out of his horn. You know, the kind of archetypical Dr. Seuss scale gags.
I like it.
The production would eventually settle on 2 types of physical snow.
One of the things we had to attack very early on was snow. Obviously it snows in Whoville, and obviously it's a big part of their world.
Well done, Max.
We found a snow product that could work on the ground in Whoville.
It's paper, cut up paper, and then the other stuff is bubbles.
The soap bubbles fall down in a very sort of whimsical fashion because they're almost light as air.
And for some scenes, snow would have to be digitally added.
Doesn't somebody somewhere on the planet have digital snow so that we wouldn't have to create our own digital snow?
We'll shoot the scene without snow, and then we add different layers of snow in the final shot.
But even with CGI and the huge sets, some scenes had to be shot on location.
Spread eagle! Nailed it!
One of the scenes that, has never existed before in any other version of this story is this wild, wild sleigh ride down the side of Mount Crumpet. Audiences enjoy it.
Though even here, CGI would lend a helping hand.
The sleigh takes the curve, the Grinch is behind the sleigh, and he gets flung out around and goes flying in the air over this giant precipice. He's kind of in trouble there, and we get to save him.
Almost lost my cool there.
Ron Howard knew that such a screen fantasy would not be complete without the right music. For that, they turned to Academy Award-winning composer James Horner, whose previous work included Apollo 13 and Titanic. Both Jim Carrey and 6-year-old Taylor Momsen would each record songs for the movie.
Are you Christmas? Why can't I find you? Why have you gone away?
You're a mean one, Mr. Grinch. You really are a heel.
You're as cuddly as a cactus and as charming as an eel, Mr. Grinch.
You're a bad banana with a greasy black beard. Blast this Christmas music!
So now, as Jim Carrey prepared to bring that mean and mischievous misanthrope, the Grinch, to movie audiences everywhere, the buzz was building.
One of the things that excites me the most is actually not sort of the big fantasy aspect. It's not the special effects, which gives it the scope and scale, of which I'm very proud. I think the scenes I like the most are these incredible scenes where Jim Carrey's all alone in his cave, and you realize just how neurotic the Grinch really is.
You have no messages?
Odd. Better check the outgoing.
If you utter
so much as one syllable, I'll hunt you down and gut you like a fish. If you'd like to fax me, press the star key.
Theodore Geisel passed away some years ago, and he was Dr. Seuss, a genius. I would like nothing better than to believe that he'd be satisfied with our adaptation.
Now, after 3 years of painstaking preparation, almost a year of development, and 4 months of principal photography,
Very nice.
The Grinch is on schedule.
6:30, dinner with me. I can't cancel that again.
I'm embarrassed to say it, but I really think it has something for everyone.
Whatever age you are, you're the age for Dr. Seuss.
It is a modern fable that really is broad in its appeal.
That's more like it.
Bringing a Seussian character to life is already something that hasn't happened yet.
Burn, baby! Burn!
Jim is a genius, and it was my pleasure to just be a participant in helping him bring his character to the screen. Really, one of the highlights of my career.
Why didn't I think of that?
As you watch The Grinch, you literally lean forward, and the only time you go back is when you're laughing.
Like for year after year, I've put up with it now. I must stop this Christmas from coming. But how?
This kind of scale and this kind of movie, it's really cool.
Maybe I won't make any more movies after this because everything's going to be boring after this.
I know we've created a world that is mind-blowing, that I've never even seen before. I mean, that it has speed and color and light.
We all had our work cut out for us with The Grinch.
We're gonna die!
But we had great screenwriters. We went to Rick Baker, one of the world's greatest makeup artists, and of course, the extraordinary Jim Carrey. And we've had a lot of laughs.
We did it! Cut, print, check the gate, moving on.
Okay guys, that was a little behind the scenes inside look at the making of Dr. Seuss's Jim Carrey's How the Grinch Stole Christmas from the year 2000. Coming up, we have some more Grinchy fun for you. So don't go anywhere, we'll be right back after this.
Every Who down in Whoville liked Christmas a lot.
Wrong-o.
You're
The Grinch! I must stop this Christmas from coming!
Director Ron Howard and producer Brian Grazer invite you.
Forgot about the reindeer. Action! Brilliant!
To celebrate the holiday classic.
Holiday Hoobie Whatty?
Doesn't this seem like a bit much?
In theaters.
This could change my entire outlook on life!
Really?
No.
Jim Carrey.
Even if we're horribly mangled, there'll be no sad faces on Christmas.
Dr. Seuss's How the Grinch Stole Christmas.
Even if I wanted to go, my schedule wouldn't allow it. 4 o'clock, wallow in self-pity. 6:30, dinner with me. I can't cancel that again.
Back in theaters this holiday season.
Welcome back guys to the 25-year celebration of Dr. Seuss's How the Grinch Stole Christmas starring Jim Carrey from the year 2000. I remember the first time I got Jim Carrey's How the Grinch Stole Christmas on DVD and Blu-ray. I remember I was scrolling through the bonus features thinking like, there's some pretty cool stuff on here. But that was my first time ever experiencing the bonus features and the making of how they made it. So I thought it was really cool, really unique, and really fun to watch. One thing I especially remember about the DVD I had was it had a thing on it called Max's Playhouse. And on Max's Playhouse, one of the things I remember I loved watching, and I watched it so many times non-stop, was a thing called The Care and Feeding of the Grinch. What it is it's like a story about Jim Carrey's The Grinch, at least based off of that film at least, that is read to you. And I just thought that was really cool the first time I got it, The Grinch on DVD. I remember I watched it, like I said before, so many times, and I was like hooked on listening to that story. And what's really cool, and I thought I would share with you guys tonight, is that story. So wait now, sit back, relax, grab a drink, maybe some popcorn, and enjoy the read-along of the care and feeding of the Grinch. Enjoy!
The care and feeding of a Grinch. I'm Max. I'm the dog, and my job is a cinch. I keep a close eye on my master, the Grinch. We look quite alike, if you see what I mean. Only my fur is brownish, and his fur is green. I know you are wondering, what does a Grinch eat? A stinky raw onion is his kind of treat. He likes food that's rotten. I guess you could say the term for my master is garbage gourmet. That's me, standing guard just outside of his cave. I am scaring off Who's, and I have to be brave. Unlike all the Who's who like Christmas a lot, my boss on the mountain absolutely, positively, most assuredly does not. Just where he went wrong, I do not know at all. It could be that his heart is a wee bit too small. He sneaks down to Whoville and likes to play pranks. I have to help out, but he never says thanks. One prank that we pull always works without fail. We hide in the P.O. and mix up the mail. A Who gal named Cindy once fell down the chute. I made the boss save her. She was kind of cute. The gal missed the stamper by one little inch. That day, Cindy Lou grew quite fond of the Grinch. Like me, that gal knew that my master was good. The Grinch was not evil, just misunderstood. To honor the Grinch, give him reason to care, was Cindy Lou Who's great idea of a dare. And so Whobilation, which happens each year, attempted to name him the chairman of cheer. The boss was too shy. He did not want to come. I used the old noggin and persuaded him some. I helped him to dress and to clean up his face, to come down and join in the whole Who Man race. I'm sad to report he was not a success. Too much food, too much noise, and way, way too much stress. Back up at the cave, as the boss sang a song, he dreamed up a scheme, and I, Max, went along. He put on a big suit of red trimmed with white. He made me wear antlers. We waited for night. We flew down to Whoville upon a great sleigh, and we made us some history that Christmas Day. He stole the Who's Christmas, yes, lock, stock, and toy. He unstuffed their stockings. It gave him great joy. He came in the night like an evil green breeze, and he snatched all the wreaths, and he swiped all the trees. But the Who's fooled the Grinch in a wonderful way, as they all came awake on that Grinchiful day. And from up on Mount Crumpet, we really could tell that the spirit of Christmas was still alive and well. And then out of nowhere, well, what do you know? His shriveled up heart must have started to grow. He gave them their Christmas. He brought it all back. Lock, stock, and toy in a great bulging sack. My boss now keeps Christmas alive in his heart, and I like to think that I played a small part. You have seen for yourself that it's really a cinch to give a dog hug to my master, the Grinch. The end.
So yeah, that was the story I watched over and over again, and now you know. Now you know what story I got hooked on. Anyways, coming up after this quick break, we're going to be finishing up this special of the 25th anniversary of How the Grinch Stole Christmas, starring Jim Carrey. So stay tuned, we'll be back after this.
Every Who down in Whoville liked Christmas a lot.
Wrong-o.
You're the
The Grinch! I must stop this Christmas from coming!
Director Ron Howard and producer Brian Grazer invite you.
Forgot about the reindeer. Action! Brilliant!
To celebrate the holiday classic.
Holiday Hoobie Whatty?
Doesn't this seem like a bit much?
In theaters.
This could change my entire outlook on life!
Really?
No.
Jim Carrey.
Even if we're horribly mangled, there'll be no sad faces on Christmas.
Dr. Seuss's How the Grinch Stole Christmas.
Even if I wanted to go, my schedule wouldn't allow it. 4 o'clock, wallow in self-pity. 6:30, dinner with me. I can't cancel that again.
Back in theaters this holiday season.
Okay guys, I thank you guys so much for joining me for this 25th anniversary of Jim Carrey's How the Grinch Stole Christmas. If you enjoyed this special, let me know in the comments below. Also hit that like and subscribe button if you haven't already. I have more reactions coming up in the future, so definitely stay tuned for that. But for tonight, I want to say thank you so much for joining me. Have a very Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, Merry Grinchmas, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Have a great holiday season. Bye for now.